I hate to be a disclaimer queen, but in a few of my voiceover segments, my laptop fan was wildin'. I apologize. Welcome back, and if you're new, hello. My name is Rajine. In this video, you'll see my months-long process of making Eve Jean. I was inspired to make Eve Jean from this Instagram photo. I just thought it was very powerful, it was very moving, especially the caption. The caption, or the beginning part of it, reads, "The love of my life, you gave me life." And I just love that. That's actually how I came up with the name Eve Jean, because around that time of May 2021, when I actually saw this photo and I screenshotted it and I waited till December to really work on it, because I was really trying to figure out how to go about making this. And I thought about Eve Jean. So if you're not familiar with Eve Jean, it's basically mitochondrial DNA. It's just basically saying how it was stemming back from the first humans to evolve in Africa, because we started in Africa, and it comes from the mother. Mitochondrial DNA comes from the mother. So I just thought this piece was just be amazing, calling it Eve Jean. So it's just, I was heavily inspired to just make this, because it's just like the epitome of Black femininity. Just everything was giving me life. So I'll put more in the description about what the Eve Jean is, or mitochondrial DNA, because I'm nowhere near a scientist and I'm not trying to misinform. So I'm showing you the process before I even get started with Eve Jean. So here I'm at Kinko's getting the image blown up. I'm talking to one of the employees. They have the image in their computer and they're just showing me what it would look like, the dimensions, the measurements, stuff like that. He was trying to upsell me on paper and all the other stuff, but I'm just like, no, I'm just using this as a reference point. I didn't even want it in color, but they made the mistake of putting it in color, but they didn't charge me extra for it, so it was all good. Then this is like a couple days later, where I went to Michael's to get the transfer tracers. I used these transfer tracers before when I was doing a sip and paint, like sip and paint kits for youth, because I'm a teaching artist as well, if you don't know that, if you're new to the channel. And I transfer traced my prints that I sell on my website and just at events. And it's like a really great tool to use, where you can just transfer trace something on paper or on canvas. So this is a great tool. So I really want to use these. Well, I did use these to be able to trace my reference, since I'm not very strong at drawing figure, and I wanted it to be as much similar to the image because it has a baby in it, and I really wanted to capture the figure of the baby. And so now this is just the making of Eve Jean. So here I'm just starting with drawing the face. I really want the face to be very powerful, since a lot of my work features faces. I love faces. I love makeup and just the artistry of I just love it all. I just love the face. A lot of my work, all of it mainly, is like features a face. I know how to draw a face. I struggle at fingers and figure. A lot of people and a lot of artists can attest to this, but I'm just drawing the face, figuring out how I want her face to look. I still use like drawing a circle and then building upon that, and then like using the lines to have some type of symmetricality, if that's a word, symmetry. I struggle with symmetry. As you can see, I still use these lines. Even my lines are not completely symmetrical, so I really struggle with that. I've watched many drawing tutorials. I've been in drawing class, went to school for art. That is something till this day that I struggle with. So it is what it is. So this is just another angle of me drawing the face. I actually drew the body before I did the face, because I knew the body would take actually a longer time, but it's kind of like backwards, because I actually started with the canvas first before I even did the body or drew anything. So I somewhat got the eyes symmetrical. Like I said, can't get it out. Symmetricality, even if that's a word. I struggle with that so much. So if I do the left side, because I really like the way the left side of the eye looks, so people have said, oh, try doing the side that you're not the strongest at. So I started with the left first. I literally, for my life, cannot make them symmetrical. So whenever I draw anything, it always leans, as you can see, either to the left or to the right. I can literally have the paper straight, but like since like I am right-handed, I always have to like turn my paper to the left so I can be able to draw. So I mean, I like the way the face looks. I really like, because I want her face to be very striking. Like I don't want her to, I don't know, like I always like to draw like different types of faces, so I have a vision of like how I want her to look. And so this is just like the blueprint of what her face is going to look like. So what I'm going to do is like, I feel like it's like no need for me to outline her face. I've noticed that with my other piece, or with my pieces, I always outline their faces. But if I do, I'm usually just going to use a Sharpie. So when I do paint over it, I don't lose my lines and everything. I'm not gonna give her hair or eyebrows, so I'm just gonna like paint that on. And I have like a lot of extra hair laying around that I've been dying to like use, so I'm gonna use some of that hair. But yeah, so like this is like the blueprint of what her face is looking like. I'm just gonna go in and like clean it up so I can get the lines that I actually want to use for this. But I tried. Like I literally tried. So I mean, it looks pretty decent, but I try to make the eyes symmetrical the best way I possibly could. But I think she looks pretty good for how she came out, because I'm not gonna spend, like, if this was like an actual drawing that was just gonna be a standalone drawing, I would put more time and energy into it. But since this is just gonna be painted over a sketch, this is just like spent 20 minutes literally just trying to get the eyes right. So I'm just like, oh my god. So yeah, so this is what it looks like. I kind of like the way she looks on camera, so I can't wait to see what she'll look like when she's done, because I don't know. I have a vision in my head how I want it to look, but it'll be way different how she comes out. So now I'm showing you guys how I transfer traced the image, and the image is striking. I'm actually going to frame it when I have the wall space for it, but I'm really going to frame it because it's in color. They printed it in color, wanted it in black and white, but it is what it is with that. So this is what it looks like after I traced it. I don't want to show too much of the tracing because I need to blur out her chest. I'm not really sure what YouTube does with nudity and all the other stuff. Even though it's tasteful, I still could get like in trouble or striked for it. But now I'm just going in and just adding details that were not already in the original drawing, and just cleaning up any lines or filling in any lines that I missed. And so here, since I have the full image now, I'm building upon the original drawing because a lot of my pieces are like very three-dimensional, and I want it to be thick because I'm going to be painting on top of this paper, so I need a lot of layers so the paint doesn't, you know, bleed through and it looks crazy. So I do this a lot. So I'm using my drawing paper, and I probably used about like 5 or 6 layers of drawing paper. So now I'm just like page by page tracing the original drawing, like tracing by cutting out the original drawing with paper, if that makes sense. So as you can see right here, I'm just, you know, outlining or cutting around the drawing with as many paper layers as possible. Hopefully that makes sense, but you can see what I'm doing. Now afterwards, I'm hot gluing. Hot glue is my best friend. It's amazing. I'm hot gluing like the cutout piece to the original drawing to layer it up. I enjoy adding layers to my pieces because I really like that textural element and that 3D aspect to it. So, like I said before, I probably use like 5 or 6 layers, hot gluing it all together so I can, so it can like kind of extend from the canvas. I really love that look. So a lot of my work features found items that I find that I think would look really cool in an art piece. Like these little purple things are avocado holders, and I've been waiting forever to use them. And I really thought it'd be really cool to use them as like her breast, as like another 3D element. And I just use hot glue to add the details to her breast. I got that book for Christmas from my sister. Trudy knows I love literature featuring beautiful black women, and I thought it'd be really great to use this as a background for my canvas. And the canvas is actually repurposed. A lot of my artwork, like I said before, is repurposed. The canvas is an art piece that my parents bought a long time ago when we moved into our old house. It was a generic flower that you get like Home Goods or something, and I thought this canvas, if I just bought it like this, would be like $50-$60. When I get it for $3.99 and just repurpose it. So that's what I did. And here I finished cutting out everything, so now I'm just like trying to figure out how to place everything on the canvas. I cut out so many pictures that I actually still have them, and I'm just waiting to like use them for another collage. So I don't like to throw away anything because I already know it can be repurposed and used for something. And if you're wondering why I'm in my robe, that's how I create art. Like if I'm in the house, I'm usually in a robe. I don't know, like I literally cannot wear a whole full-fledged outfit in the house. Maybe some people can, I just can't. So I'm in one of my favorite robes, and I'm just putting the images how I see fit on the canvas. here I'm just doing like a quick Instagram story. I think that's what I was doing, of the progress, since I've been keeping my followers updated on this piece. This is the longest piece of it. Like, this is the longest I've ever worked on a piece. Like, it's taken me a year and a day to get this done, through procrastination a little bit, and also, just things in my personal life where I was really in the creative space. But here I'm now using Mod Podge. Mod Podge is the GOAT because I've used resin for one of my pieces, and resin is very expensive, and especially if I want to use resin for this large size of canvas, it would have been $200, because just a large thing of resin, like on the cheap side, is like $50-$60. So what I do is I use Mod Podge, and I use a lot of it, like a lot, because if you use a lot of it and when it dries clear, because I use the clear version, and it's just amazing. It's hard and it stays put. So if you're ever looking for something to seal your artwork, this is a great thing to use it with, because I seal it with everything. I seal it with drawings, I seal it with my 3D pieces, and it works just fine, because resin is amazing, but it's too expensive. This took around 3 days to dry completely, which was totally fine. This was filmed in December. I didn't start working on the face and the body till January and February. Some people might be deterred, like, oh my gosh, like, it's completely white. This stuff dries clear. This is what it looked like when it was drying, and after the 3rd day, it looked like this, completely clear. Nothing was lost. You can see the reflection of how shiny it is, and it's actually pretty hard. I really loved how it came out. It looks great. So stay tuned for part 2. That's either uploaded on my channel already, or it'll be there soon. Thank you for watching.